All right, every once in a while I like to do a video on this gentleman here, KLAUS SCHWAB. One of the reasons is because I had a lot of views, probably the most views I've ever had on my channel because of this gentleman, because of this topic. So I thought perhaps I could do a little bit of a review. Maybe this might be a little mini video series or whatever. And we'll see where this goes. So I'm going to title this, continue the title with, "This is what keeps Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum up at night." So we're just going to go to the intro. And this is one interesting thing here, quote from this guy here, from the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. "We no longer think short-term companies need to answer more than their shareholders. Companies need to answer to more than their shareholders. They need to be accountable to higher morals or stakeholders. That's what they need to be held accountable for." So, what else do we have here? Right here from this person here from Oxfam International. It's a quote from "Shareholder First Capitalism, and instead put human rights at the heart of our economy." So we need to depart from shareholder first and instead put human rights at the heart of our economy. And over here, Professor Schwab's new book offers us insight of perspectives on the world economic history. And then here, this is a blueprint for future, inviting us to build a more inclusive, this word keeps coming up, prosperous, healthier, and greener world by embracing stakeholder capitalism at scale. Okay, so let's just go to it's a little bit about KLAUS. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to read a little bit of the preface, if you will. Not too much, but it's important. Let's see if I can zoom in here. In early February 2020, I sat down in Geneva to discuss this book with a colleague. When the phone rang in my office, it turned out to be what you could call an ACBC moment, when the attention shifted from time before COVID-19 to the reality that set in after COVID-19. So it'd be interesting to know if my video actually gets any views because of just doing a book review. It's just kind of interesting that my understanding is you have to be very careful on saying the word COVID-19. You can't say that too many times in a row, COVID-19, COVID-19, because then your video could get flagged or something like that. So anyways, before that call, me and my colleagues had been preoccupied with the long-term challenges of the world economy, including climate change, which is a big deal for Klaus Schwab, and inequality. Like, this just keeps this guy up late at night. He does not like the idea that me sitting here at home, that I'm not a millionaire. Like, that basically is preventing him from getting sleep. The idea that I can't be an equal partner with Klaus Schwab. And you know what? I'd have to agree with you. Like, I'm sitting here losing sleep going, why don't I make enough money? Why don't I make as much money as Klaus Schwab? Why can't I do that? Why can't I be equal, even Steven? So Klaus, if you're watching this video, I want to be on board. I'd love to be on board with you. Even Steven, let's split your company 50-50. 50-50, right? Because you believe that there's too much inequality. So 50% of your company seems fair to me, because if I have 51%, I'd probably shut your company down. So 50%, I don't have enough power to do that. So I'm okay with half your revenue. So anyways, I had reflected in depth the local economic system built in the 75 since the end of the Second War. So this is one of the beefs that Klaus Schwab has. Don't think he doesn't think about this deal that was made when Germany got defeated and they were split in half. So it's interesting, specifically Berlin, and all the deals that were made after that. Don't think he didn't lie awake at night going, man, We had a raw deal in World War I and then a raw deal in World War II. And if I get my shot, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix it. And don't think he's not bitter about World War II. He talks about what life was like in World War II for him as a child. So this shaped his influence of how he views the world moving forward. And the 50 years since the creation of the World Economic Forum, so 25 years after World War II, he created the World Economic Forum. I examined the various elements of our globalized world today, including the benefits, trade-offs, dangers. Then I considered what changes to the system were needed in the next 50 or 75 years to make sure it would be more equitable, which is interesting, sustainable, and resilient for future generations, aka stakeholders, for his company. Not for me, not for you, but for him. But in one call, that long-term agenda was upended. My focus moved to the immediate crisis that was about to be faced by all of us in every country on the planet. It's kind of interesting that he jumped to that conclusion. I know this is the author writing this, but it's interesting that right away he realized that every country on the planet was going to be faced with this. On the other end of the line was the head of our Beijing representative's office in China. Usually these kind of calls cover routine matters, meaning he's had several phone calls with China about this type of thing. Routine matters, providing a chance to catch up on established initiatives and programs, but this one was different. The director had called to update me on the epidemic that had hit China hard earlier that winter. COVID-19 initially confined to the city of Wuhan, this novel coronavirus, which often causes a severe respiratory disease, was rapidly becoming a primary health concern across the country. Our colleague explained that much of Beijing's population had traveled beyond the city to attend a lunar New Year celebrations, and as they returned, not before, but as they returned, they carried the novel coronavirus with them, causing an outbreak and subsequent lockdown in the capital. So they brought the virus because they were attending the New Year celebration all over the world, and when they came back, they brought the virus with them. That's what it looks like here. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's just kind of interesting that he wanted to write this book so quick, right away. You know how long it takes to write a book? It usually takes a couple of years to write a book. So it's interesting, this came out in 2021, this book here. So that means he would be working on this in 2019 before all the crap hit the fan. So if you like me to do a deeper dive on this book, I can uncover some goodies. I don't know if this video is going to get flagged or whatever, but again, it's just a book review. I should be able to review any book I want on the planet, should I not? So, if you like this type of thing, be sure to let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. And then also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're watching this. And I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive on this book over the next couple of weeks. I don't know if it's going to be every day, but for sure, a couple of times a week. If you're interested in that, then click on that bell so that you'll be notified whenever I make a video. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.